This is the Tamobyke TB20 electric bike. My first spin on it was a mix of a grin and a raised eyebrow. The grin came from the punchy 1500-watt motor that yanked me off the line harder than most e-bikes I've tried. The eyebrow came from how big and heavy it feels the moment you try to roll it out of a doorway or lift the rear to align the wheel. From my experience, the TB20 is a moped-style e-bike wearing a folding badge, built around power first and everything else second. On looks and feel, it leans into the moto vibe. The frame is thick and sturdy, the kind of build that gives confidence when you're blasting across cracked pavement or gravel. The 20x4 fat tires add a lot of presence and also soak up chatter at lower pressures. The dual suspension setup is the star of the comfort story, a beefy front fork and a rear shock that actually takes the sting out of speed bumps, potholes, and washboard. The long saddle is better than average, firmer than a couch, softer than a race perch, and the color LCD is easy to read in sunlight. Key features that stand out to the eye and hand are the hydraulic disc brakes, the wide bars, and the clean cable runs into the controller area. Two things on the ergonomics front you should know. The handlebars are fixed. No rise or reach adjustments out of the box beyond rotating the controls. And that matters if you're tall. I'm 6 feet in shoes, and I had to choose between ideal leg extension and a comfortable reach. I set the seat for proper pedaling and ended up stretching to the bars more than I like on longer rides. If you're 5'6" to 5'10", you'll likely slot in just fine. If you're over 6 feet, plan on some shoulder and lower back pressure unless you mod the cockpit with risers. The other thing is weight. It's heavy, well into triple digits. I put it on a luggage scale and it was just over 100 pounds as shipped with the battery in. Tamobyke calls it a folding bike, and yes, technically it folds at the frame hinge, but it's perfect for storage, not for hauling upstairs or quick car trunk tosses. I can fold it to save floor space. I do not want to carry it folded. Out on the road and trail is where this bike makes sense. The motor pulls like a small moped. I hit an indicated 35 miles per hour on a flat, tucked a bit, and there's still torque to climb steep neighborhood hills without bogging down. Shimano's 7-speed drivetrain functions fine, but with this motor you mostly use it to keep cadence reasonable rather than define power. The bike has multiple riding modes: full throttle, no pedaling, pedal assist, PAS, with 5 levels, and human only. For anyone new, PAS just means the motor helps as you pedal, and you choose how much it helps. I did most rides in PAS 2 to 3 cruising, then bumped to PAS 5 or throttle for quick passes or hills. The hydraulic brakes are the must-have on a bike this fast and heavy. The first time I braked hard from over 25 miles per hour, I felt the front end load smoothly, the rear settle, and the bike stopped with no drama, no squeal, no fade, and they stayed strong after repeat downhill stops. In my opinion, if you're buying a 35 miles per hour e-bike, hydraulic brakes are non-negotiable. Suspension-wise, the rear shock works better than the fork. The back end takes the hit and keeps the tire planted. The fork is decent, good for urban abuse and light dirt, but it feels more average once you hit fast washboard gravel. With tire pressure lowered into the mid-teens PSI on dirt, the combo felt planted and fun. On wet pavement, the fat tires grip better than I expected, but still demand respect when you're at speed. I did a drizzle ride and the brakes and electronics behaved. The bike is UL certified and has an IP rating, plus a BMS in the battery. Quick explainer: UL is a safety certification, IP means better water resistance, and a BMS, battery management system, helps prevent overcharge, overheating, and short circuits. That's stuff I like seeing on any high-power e-bike. Now for range, which in my mind is the biggest mismatch between the spec sheet and real use. The claim is up to 124 miles on pedal assist and around half that on pure electric. From my experience, those numbers exist only in perfect conditions, with very light assist, a very light rider, flat terrain, and patience. My real-world loop, 15 miles total, paved and a bit of gravel, light headwind, mild hills. I ran PAS 3 for most of it, used full throttle for about 3 miles mixed in, and at the end, I had burned 2 out of 5 battery bars. That puts me at around 40 miles mixed use before empty. Could I squeeze more by sticking to PAS 1 to 2, pedaling consistently, and staying at 12 to 14 miles per hour? Probably. But the reason I bought a 1500-watt bike is to use its power. When you use the fun part, the range drops fast. In my opinion, plan for 30 to 45 miles mixed, maybe 55 to 70 miles if you baby it. And don't bank on triple digits unless you're treating it like a casual cruiser on flat bike paths. I ran into reliability hiccups, and I want to be straight about that. After a few weeks, I started getting intermittent cutouts when hitting rough patches, or when I'd punch the throttle hard out of a corner. The power would blip off, then come back. I checked connectors, reseated the battery, and tidied the cable bundle near the controller. It improved but didn't disappear. On a hot day with a long, steep climb, the controller got very warm and I felt surging, power ramping and dropping unpredictably. Later, I saw error codes on the display, E004 once, and then E010 later that week. I pulled the side cover, checked motor phase wires and hall sensor connectors, and cleaned contacts with electrical cleaner. It rode fine for a bit, then the surging returned under hard load. From my experience, the controller and wiring harness are sensitive to vibration and heat. If you plan to treat this like a trail moped, be prepared to secure the wiring carefully. Add cushion where the harness touches the frame, and give the controller airflow. Tinkerers will handle it. Set and forget riders may get frustrated. On the tech side, the color display is clear and easy to use, and the app is a nice bonus. I paired it to customize PAS behavior and track rides. The NFC unlock is clever. I tapped in even when my phone battery was low. The included toolkit is basic but enough to finish assembly. Mine arrived about 85% pre-built, and I had it rolling in roughly an hour, taking time to torque the stem bolts and true the front brake caliper. If you're new, watch a quick brake alignment and derailleur tuning video. It'll save headaches. The drivetrain came aligned enough to ride, but the high-limit screw on my derailleur needed a quarter turn to stop overshifting into the spokes. What I like most comes down to four things. The motor's shove makes city riding fun and hills trivial. The hydraulic brakes match the speed and weight with real stopping confidence. The rear shock plus fat tires take the sting out of rough surfaces and make long rides feel less punishing. And the safety stack, UL, IP rating, and a smart BMS gives me more peace of mind with a big battery. Key features that make it enjoyable day-to-day are the simple PAS control, the readable screen, and the comfy saddle that doesn't feel like a compromise. There are trade-offs, and they matter depending on your needs. The weight and the folding label don't pair well if you need to carry it often or use transit. The fixed handlebar position limits fit for taller riders unless you modify the cockpit. Range is far below the headline number if you ride fast or use the throttle a lot. And the electrical system can get cranky under vibration and heat unless you take time to tidy and protect the harness and keep the controller cool. It's perfect for short, fast commutes, weekend fun on mixed surfaces, and riders who want moped-style punch with real brakes and suspension to match. I'd recommend this for people who value power and comfort over portability, who are okay with some garage time to dial it in, and who don't mind keeping speeds reasonable to extend range when needed. If you're after a light, toss-in-the-trunk folder, or a true century-range cruiser, this isn't it. If you're taller and sensitive to cockpit reach, budget for a stem riser or alternative bar solution. In conclusion, the Tamobyke TB20 is a thrilling, heavy, high-torque e-bike that nails speed, braking, and comfort while asking you to accept realistic range and to keep an eye on the electronics in rough use. In my opinion, it's a powerful tool for the right rider rather than a one-size-fits-all commuter. From my experience, it delivers legit fun and utility, provided you go in with clear expectations and a willingness to tune. I will leave detailed information about the Tamobyke TB20 electric bike for adults in the comments for your reference. Thank you for watching.